Welcome to the Health Headliner podcast by Tudu Digital. Our content is informational only and not medical advice. Please consult your provider. Now, let's dive into today's headlines.
Okay, so ready to dive into some pretty amazing research?
Always.
Well, this one, imagine a world without tuberculosis.
Wow.
I know, right? It sounds impossible.
Yeah.
It is the leading infectious killer worldwide.
Yeah.
But there's some promising research
Yeah.
about a new tuberculosis vaccine candidate.
Oh, very cool.
And that's what we're going to be unpacking today. You said some really great stuff, articles, research, the works. It looks like a potential breakthrough.
It is really exciting. Tuberculosis, or TB, as most people call it, took over 1.25 million lives in 2023 alone. And the vaccine we have now, the BCG vaccine, is over a century old.
Wow.
It works okay, not so well for adults.
Yeah.
So yeah, a new vaccine is desperately needed.
Absolutely. And that's where this new research comes in. A team led by Professor Deepak Coughlin at Texas Biomed developed this vaccine candidate called Delta SigmaH.
Okay.
It's a weakened form of the actual Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacterium, the one that causes TB. But they've removed a gene called SigmaH.
Interesting. Yeah. So what does that do?
Well, that's what's fascinating.
Okay.
Without the SigmaH gene, the bacteria can't survive well in the lungs. And the lungs are usually where TB takes hold.
Oh.
So it's like a really clever way to disarm the bacteria, making it safe to use in a vaccine.
Like taking away its weapon before you send it into battle.
Exactly.
Clever.
And the results have been incredibly promising. Back in 2015, they tested Delta SigmaH in rhesus macaques.
Okay.
And it provided 100% protection against a lethal dose of TB.
Wow.
But this new study, published in Nature Communications, takes it a step further.
Okay, cool.
I was reading about that.
Yeah.
They tested the vaccine in Cynomolgus macaques this time, another primate species.
Oh, interesting.
So what's so exciting about these new findings?
Well, for one, it confirms that Delta SigmaH works across different species.
Okay.
But even more intriguing is how this study dug into the vaccine's mechanism on a cellular level.
Oh, wow.
They use some really advanced techniques like single-cell RNA sequencing, which helped us understand what's happening at the individual cell level.
Okay, can you break that down?
Break that down.
Yeah. That's what they found in simpler terms.
Sure. Basically, they found that both Delta SigmaH and the traditional BCG vaccine were able to control tuberculosis. But here's the key difference. Delta SigmaH did it with a much more balanced
Okay.
and effective immune response. It recruited more B cells and T cells to the airways, which are our body soldiers that fight off infections.
So more soldiers to fight the TB.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like a good thing.
It is, but here's the catch with the BCG vaccine.
Okay.
While effective, it triggers a lot of inflammation, and too much inflammation can actually be harmful.
Ah, so it's like calling in the whole army and then accidentally bombing your own city in the process.
Yeah, a great analogy.
Okay.
Delta SigmaH, on the other hand, is much more precise. It targets the infection effectively without causing that collateral damage of excessive inflammation.
Yeah.
And this difference was clearly reflected in the study's findings.
So how do they measure that difference?
They looked at levels of a protein called IDO, which is linked to inflammation. And guess what? The macaques vaccinated with Delta SigmaH had significantly lower levels of IDO compared to the group that received BCG.
So less IDO means less inflammation and better protection against tuberculosis.
Precisely. It's not just about having a strong immune response.
Okay.
It's about having the right kind of immune response, a balanced one. And that's what makes Delta SigmaH so promising.
Interesting. This Delta SigmaH vaccine, it's sounding like a real game changer in the fight against tuberculosis. But I imagine there's still a lot more research to be done, right?
You're absolutely right. While these initial findings are incredibly exciting, we need more studies to figure out just how long this protection from the vaccine lasts. We also need to determine the best way to deliver it.
So are they thinking about different ways to administer the vaccine?
Yes, exactly. They're exploring different possibilities, like whether a traditional shot is the most effective way to give the vaccine, or if delivering it directly to the lungs might work better.
That makes sense. I mean, since tuberculosis primarily affects the lungs, delivering the vaccine directly to the source could be more effective, right?
That's the thinking, but it's not quite that simple. They also need to ensure that the vaccine is completely safe for human trials.
Right. Of course, safety is paramount, especially when you're talking about a new vaccine.
Absolutely. And to make sure the vaccine is safe for people, they might need to modify Delta SigmaH further, perhaps by knocking out more genes, in addition to SigmaH.
So they're essentially making the bacteria even weaker to ensure it's safe for humans.
Yes, that's the general idea. But even with these additional modifications, they'll still need to go through rigorous testing and clinical trials before this vaccine can be made available to the public.
It sounds like there are a lot of hurdles to overcome, but it's really encouraging to know that they're taking all the necessary steps to ensure both safety and effectiveness.
I agree. And it's not just about finding a vaccine that works. It's about understanding how it works, how long it works, and how to make it work even better. This research is really pushing the boundaries of what we know about immunology and vaccine development.
Speaking of pushing boundaries, one thing that really stood out to me in the study was the focus on interferon responses. Can you explain a bit more about that for our listener?
Of course, interferons are like signaling molecules that our immune cells use to communicate with each other. And there are different types of interferons. Some are beneficial, and some can actually be harmful.
So it's like different channels on a walkie-talkie. Some connect you to the right people, and some just bring in static.
I like that analogy. The study found that the BCG vaccine, the traditional one, triggers a strong type I interferon response. But in the case of tuberculosis, this type of interferon can be detrimental because it can actually suppress the immune system's ability to fight off the bacteria.
Oh, wow. So it's like calling for backup, but accidentally jamming the signal.
Exactly. And here's where Delta SigmaH shines. It seems to favor the production of interferon gamma, which is a beneficial type of interferon that helps rally the immune system against the tuberculosis bacteria.
So Delta SigmaH is not only sending in more troops, but it's also giving them clear instructions and making sure they have a strong communication network. That's impressive.
It really is. This difference in interferon responses could explain why Delta SigmaH seems to control tuberculosis so effectively without triggering excessive inflammation. It's all about fine-tuning the immune response to achieve the best possible outcome.
This research is truly groundbreaking. And what I find particularly exciting is that its implications extend beyond just tuberculosis.
I completely agree. The insights gained from studying Delta SigmaH could potentially pave the way for developing new and improved vaccines for other infectious diseases as well.
You're right. This could be a real paradigm shift in how we approach vaccine development, one that focuses on fine-tuning the immune response for a more targeted and effective defense. It's not just about brute force anymore, it's about strategy.
Exactly, and that's incredibly exciting. It opens up so many possibilities for preventing and treating a wide range of diseases, not just infectious ones.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of what this research could mean for the future of global health.
It really has, and it's a testament to the power of scientific curiosity and the importance of continued investment in this type of research. Imagine if we can unlock the secrets of the immune system and harness its power for good. The possibilities are truly endless.
Before we go, any final words for our listener who's been on this journey with us?
Stay curious, keep asking questions, and never underestimate the power of science to change the world.
Well said. And remember, you can find the link to the full research article in Nature Communications in the show notes. It's well worth a read if you want to dive deeper into the details of this amazing study. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Health Headliner podcast by To-Do Digital. Like and subscribe for more health news and breakthroughs. Stay healthy and informed. See you next time.